cloaked in folds of midnight waters, side by side, we sons and daughters, we set forth for no king's orders, but we'll sail together.
Hey everybody, we're trying something a little different today. I've got the co-author of Pirate's Black Heart, the story, and we're gonna interview the co-author so that you can get a perspective on her side of the character and her additions to the story and how she's added to the NPCs and so forth. But I'll let her introduce herself and then we'll go from there. Go ahead.
My name is Ipsie. I am the co-author.
All right, and you play?
My character's name is Betsy Wright. She was a spoiled rich girl. She came from an estate in London. She, not quite nobility, but close to it.
Okay, and what prompted your character to leave that lifestyle?
She was, what's the term? I worked all day, so my brain's a little, her father married her off. There we go. We'll go with it.
All right.
Her father married her off to a governor in the new land, Pennsylvania, whose name is unknown at this moment because he has not yet been introduced.
Right. And when you were set upon by Butcher, who's my character, I guess we should give a little information as well, right? Because we're playing towards the end of the golden age of piracy in 1741, right? So we're past the golden age, the heart of it, but we're at the end of it. We've had to adjust the world history a little bit so that we can continue the golden age longer than it originally went. But your character was being transported across and got set upon by Butcher, right? And she had her handmaidens with her. Is that what they were?
Ladies in waiting.
Right.
Basically, personal servants with a little more of a higher title. They were, to her, they were more than servants, they were friends. Relationships that she just developed over time. Her closest relationship would be with Judith.
Okay. And then there was also Anna, right? And
Anna and Esther.
Esther, okay.
Esther, yes.
And how did you come up with the personalities for these three and your character at the same time all at once? Like what inspired that whole collage of characters?
My character is usually my typical go-to. I have like a stock profile for most of my characters. Not all of them. I mean, they have like their own. Each of them have their own quirks, you know. But they have like a stock setting. Like I like my characters to be naive in a sense, but also a strong character. You see, they're not so naive, but introduced to different. My words are, I don't know.
You're fine.
It sounds better on paper. It sounds better on paper than it does speaking.
I don't think so. I think it's fine. And like I said, I think we're probably one of the first people to do this, so it's something new, right?
Definitely new for me. I have never done anything like this.
It's a good story, though, so it deserves a little extra attention, I think. And you adding a personal touch to it just makes it better. So
yeah.
If your character started off as a stock profile, then how did you come up with the personalities of Anna, Esther, and Judith?
Judith was actually based off of a character that I seen in a television show. Her attitude, that is. most of my characters and side characters are kind of embrace something that's already existed, but not quite so. I twist things just a little bit, just a little different.
Right.
They're not. Let's see. The one I've put the most work into would be Judith, because I consider keeping that one around most longer than the others. Which have plans for those two later. So that's why I developed hers more so over others.
Okay. So when the ship got set upon, right? And I'll go into my own stuff when we're not doing the interview. This is all about Betsy and the co-author at the moment. So that's why we're focusing mostly on you here, and we'll explain why Butcher did what he did. But when Butcher came and his crew and stuff attacked and took everybody, how do you think? Let me try to phrase this correctly. I guess. Hold on. So when this happened, how did you add to that capture? What do you think that you added to that? I guess. Try to think of it like that. Like, okay, I initiated a ship-to-ship combat, and he's come onto the ship to capture. When did you start delving into the story and adding the depth that you're adding to it? Does that make sense?
So my character from the start was locked in the other ship. They weren't allowed to come up, only because it was just a lot of people believe that women weren't supposed to be aboard on ships, and bad omens and all that other good stuff.
Right.
So they were kept below, but they were treated very well. However, my character, she was very against the idea of going to the new land. She didn't want to go there because she was being married off. She didn't want to be married off, but it wasn't her choice. So when she was trying her best to keep from reaching the new land on time, she didn't want to be there, so she tried every little thing she could to prevent that, or at least put off her arrival just by a couple days at least. So the
Which
pirate
is how
ship
Butcher
coming
caught you, actually. Right? Because
what was the question?
Nothing. I was saying that because Betsy slowed down the ship, that's how Butcher caught him. Is they were sitting half mast, if not adrift in the middle of the ocean.
So whenever she caught word that there was a potential threat coming the way, it kind of intrigued her. She was like, something that's going to slow them down even more. She didn't think it was pirates at first, but when she discovered it was pirates, she got a little scared, you know, because she has never been in a situation like that before. Considering where she came from, she was very sheltered and kept away from all that until she was supposed to transfer over to the new land.
Right. So we should also add that this is a very dark story, right? It's a very adult-based rated story. It's very dark. It doesn't focus on the adult concepts like some other stories do, but they're there. So if you do decide to take a peek at this story, be aware that this is not a light-hearted story. It is not a very lovey-dovey story. It's no slice of life. This is very dark stuff. And I kind of was surprised that you jumped onto this so quickly. And one of the things you did that with was Jones, right? So we had this concept that Jones was going to be this antagonizer, but I didn't really know how he was going to antagonize, right? And of course, you came at me with this whole concept of this pre-made idea, just this run idea that he was going to go too far during his non-consent actions with Judith and cause the entire crew to run down there to try to stop him from killing her. Is that right?
So that's very much true. Things like that get me pretty excited. I love dark stuff. I love the idea of threats and people. That I don't know how else to word it, but yes. So whenever I just come up with ideas for characters on the fly, especially just by like names and stuff, kind of make me do that. And also, again, like I said, I'm also driven by other books that I've read, TV shows, movies, characters that I've seen in there before, to just kind of bringing them into mind, but giving them my own twist in a way.
I think you've definitely added your own twist to things. That's for sure.